Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday. I'm recording this on Saturday, August 31st. This is the forecast for the week of Sunday, August 31st. Did I say that right? I'm recording it on August 30th for the forecast for Sunday, August 31st to September 6th. The next Saturday is September 6th. This is the week before the eclipse, the first eclipse of two for this eclipse season. And boy, oh boy, is it packed with these themes here this week are challenges, yes, but opportunities for adaptation. And as I was saying, the theme for the new moon, which came through about just a little bit over a week ago, was about this very same thing that we're living in these times. And this particular eclipse portal is about if we're going to be having ourselves have the pleasure of the magic of eclipse season, we've got to release. And so here this week is kind of all the astrological aspects, and I'll get to them, are saying, yes, challenge is present, but also there's this, we're going through this massive upgrade in our physical world, and it's a good time to be open to adaptation. Adaptation is the operative word for the week. And in general, that's the case for eclipse season, but let's get to why this is really the case for this particular week. On Sunday, the 31st, we have Mercury in Leo trining Chiron in Aries. And so this is really kicking off the week with the idea that your truth matters. My truth matters. Individual, and sun is at the last degrees, no, Mercury is at the last degrees of Leo, excuse me. And that's about communicating from our heart, communicating what is really, really our truth. And the world needs that. And we need to do it for ourselves, for our families, our neighbors, our communities, for the world at large. On Monday the 1st, we have Mars in Libra, sesquiquadrate Uranus in Gemini. And that's an interesting vibe. There might be some inner conflict that we experience, but that inner conflict isn't to be feared. It's a catalyst for change. So if you think back about, a time in your life where maybe there was a challenge and you look back at it many, many, many years later, there's this silver lining. There's this aha moment of, but for that challenge, I wouldn't be here. That's kind of what's up for this week. On Tuesday, we have Mercury in Leo still, quincunx Saturn in Pisces, and that's going to kick off this need for adaptation, this need for us to not just be adaptable with our communication, but with Uranus very active this week. This is about, we are the high technology we seek, right? So everything we do is a communication. On Wednesday the 3rd, we have a lot going on. We have Mercury now in the sign of Virgo, and Mercury is going to be quincunx Neptune in Aries and quincunx Pluto in Aquarius, and squaring Uranus in Gemini. And all of that is really like that's a nice thick layer of the theme of we're going through an upgrade in this physical world, and that upgrade is going to offer us opportunities for change, and the word adaptation is operative. And if we think about what adaptation means, adaptation doesn't mean, you're stuck in a corner with the same circumstances and you're forever just stuck. And nah, adaptation is like, oh no, wait, there's a place for us to grow and shift and evolve and transform. And it's actually a very, when we can get through that point where we release, then it almost becomes this magical experience, this magical ride of sorts. We also have on Wednesday Jupiter in Cancer. Jupiter is trining the North Node, which is in Pisces. The North Node is informing this eclipse, and the North Node is in Pisces. Is where we're headed as a collective, is very much about the collective wisdom. Where we're headed as individuals is about our own wisdom, and where we're headed as a collective is about us being a part of that tapestry of collective wisdom. So forward progress during this eclipse season and in general is going to be about us being here now, speaking our truth, as I was saying, but also tapping into those that came before us and everything that we've come to understand and learn and heal and know to this point. On Wednesday, we still have a couple more things happening. It's a big day. We have the sun in Virgo, sesquiquadrate Chiron and Aries. And this is, again, about inner conflict. And for Chiron, the inner conflict might feel a little personal. And the sun, it's about, being the change that we seek, being the embodiment of the thing that we feel is missing, and really taking ownership of that. It does not mean martyring ourselves. It does not mean necessarily bending over backwards, but it means owning our vibration. which brings me to the last aspect on Wednesday, which is Mercury is now in Virgo. It's semi-square to Mars. And this is kind of about a challenge. We're going to start to feel a challenge on Wednesday and into Thursday because Mercury in Virgo is going to be semi-square to Jupiter in Cancer just a couple hours after it's square to Mars. And this is about something happening to really stimulate our desire for change, for adaptation. So maybe a type of activation, a realization. It doesn't mean it has to be traumatic, but it might be more loud than usual. That's the nature of eclipse season too, right? It's beyond linear space and time. And while the eclipse isn't happening this week, let me be clear. We close the week on September 6th on Saturday. It's the eclipse is the next day. So we're really in the soup right now. And it's an exciting soup. I hope that you feel that these challenges that we are maybe facing collectively, and then we have our individual aspirations, that it's go time. It's a really exciting time to be alive on our planet. We also have on Thursday, we have Mars in Libra, quincunx the North Node. So this is going to be inviting us to bring this energy of adaptation into how and who we think of who we are and why we're here. You know that idea when people usually say, oh, my name is so and so, and then they state their profession, and it almost like it forces people into a box that, well, what do you do when you go home? What's your favorite food? What's your hobbies? Blah, blah, blah. Like that idea of our I amness, our who we are and why we're here is going through an upgrade this week. We also have Venus in Leo biquintile the North Node. So this means that if we are experiencing a challenge, there's a creative way for us to figure out how to continue to build on the energy of expansion. And so looking for being open to new things or new eyes on an old thing or a new you in an experience that maybe you felt like very different even a year ago. And we're going to close Thursday with Mars in Libra squaring Jupiter in Cancer. So that's more challenging energy. It does feel a little bit like the challenges are happening in the 3D world this week. I love when I say stuff like that. I'm like, and people are like, well, yeah, you could just look at that and anybody could figure that out. But also the astrology is saying that, which is why I think it's really cool. So let's get to Friday and then Saturday and we'll wrap this up. I can't wait to share with you the eclipse broadcast. So keep your eye on your inbox here. But for right now, Friday, we have Venus quintile Uranus. And so this is again, like Venus, which is now in Leo, is going to remind us that this idea of beauty and balance and justice and harmony comes from a regal and noble place. And it comes from us being connected to our heart. And Uranus is here to remind us that our heart is the most powerful thing and that we are the creators. We are never powerless. We can choose to be a source of light. We can choose to be a source of peace. We can choose to be a source of whatever we choose, whatever we want to choose to be a source of. Powerful times. On Saturday, we have just a few aspects to wrap this up. We have the sun still in Virgo, semi-sextile Venus and Leo. And this is really, I think this is really prepping us for the eclipse in the next day because there's going to be almost like a vacuum where we can feel something is missing before the something comes in. There's going to be this space that we're going to start to be able to feel. And then, but that's going to be the motivation for something new to come in. And we don't need to know what that newness now. We get to trust and be present. The way through is being present and being truthful and being adaptable this week. We also have Mercury biquintile Pluto and Venus sesquiquadrate Saturn in Gemini. And those aspects are really going to be about making sure that our communication and who we are in this world is authentic and has integrity. And so this means that, be adaptable. But the last aspects at the end of this week are like, be adaptable, but don't just cut off your right arm because somebody said you had to. Like, really make sure that your adaptation is coming from this I am space. And it's almost like we're going through the upgrade that we're going through is if we're being prepared to go on this massive, beautiful journey. This week is almost like a little bit of housekeeping. if we have one piece of luggage that we can take for this massive journey we're taking, are we really sure we need that extra pair of red shoes? Maybe we do. Maybe we do. And maybe we need to forget about the other thing in the suitcase. But this is the week where we're going to get to kind of trust that the things that light up and the things that come into our awareness, that they aren't mistakes. They aren't just willy-nilly everyday occurrences. With eclipse season, when we really get to the exact aspects, things really do get electric and magnetic. So have a wonderful week. I'm so excited to have you with me on this journey, and I look forward to sharing the eclipse broadcast with you. Blessings and love, and take care.